Welcome everybody. It's you found 1 Million Cups Seattle. We're going to jump in this morning now that we've had a little bit of time to connect and socialize. Just a reminder, if you don't know the link, hopefully you do, but this link tree will get you just about all the information you need, even to sign up for events, including our in-person next week, and all sorts of different information. So what are we about? In general, we're about supporting the community. So we're here to help each other to have that authentic interactions, share ideas. This is not a competitive environment. Hopefully it's one that everybody's willing to jump in and participate in. We do not do pitches. This is not Shark Tank. We're just about connecting, not networking or generating business. We're about being inclusive and supporting our community around us, which is a national organization. This is just the Seattle chapter. I think the closest other chapter is Wenatchee or someplace in Eastern Washington, but different chapters around the country. In fact, we have people from other chapters joining us all the time. It's pretty fun. So the catchphrase is we're seeking to educate, or we're seeking education, presentations, and connections. And the connections is one of those things that I really value. This is the details for our in-person event, but if you go to the link tree, you can get all the details to sign up and participate in that. We're really excited about trying this out. We're just doing it for this next week, and then it'll go back to virtual while we kind of assess how that went and how we might incorporate virtual and in person. We are a nonprofit organization, and we rely on other people to help us, and we couldn't do it without our sponsors that help us with systems to support our community, method customization, and McLaughlin method. We also couldn't do it without our volunteer organizers. So these are our volunteer organizers currently, and those organizers come in and rotate in and rotate back out. If you're interested in volunteering, even for a specific task, we have people that just plug in on one thing and aren't necessarily an organizer. Let us know. There's an email in there. So today we've had that coffee and conversation, or whatever your beverage of choice is. We're going to do a 6-minute education presentation. Amanda is going to be talking to us about BCC Consulting. And then we're going to get a chance to do a 20-minute kind of Q&A with her when she's done. Just remember to limit your distractions, focus in on what she's presenting, and think about what you might be able to ask or be curious about. I think that's the ultimate goal, is to be curious, be able to provide feedback, and we'll talk a little bit about what that might mean later. During that Q&A session, if you can use the raise hand reaction, and then I'll call on you one at a time, and we kind of go through that. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to ask that Amanda, why don't you go ahead and pull up your presentation, and we can dive on in.
I'm muted. I gave myself the magic word. Thank you for having me today. If I could just do one quick thing and ask you all to, in the chat, tell me whether or not this is your first business, or which business are you currently working on? Is this your second, your third, your 100th? So I can get a feel of who's here. Pop that in the chat. And I'd love for you to close your eyes for a moment and think about your business and that vision that you have for it 3, 5, 10 years from now. that grand big picture. You can see it likely, but do you have it written down? Do you know the roadmap that connects you from now to there? And what are the obstacles that are in the way from where you are now to where you want to be? In 2012, I opened a gluten-free bakery out of a farmer's market booth in Seattle, Washington. And from there, I scaled that business to a retail location with a wholesale manufacturing facility that employed 15 people. Along the way, I learned a lot about staffing, about production, about having a brick and mortar open all the time. And in 2018, I sold that business. I sold the stake in my business, and I thought of it as a failure. I exited exhausted, burnt out, and totally broke. What I've learned over the last 3 years is that I was chasing economies of scale and my foundation wasn't set up right. Through unpacking all of the experiences and that vision I had, my bakery was going to be nationwide. I had a roadmap, I had a pretty growth plan, but I had no idea how to get there. And so now that I have recovered from what I feel is my failure, and that was real, it was what I went through for 2.5 years was really felt like a failure. And but now I've really turned this, and I encourage my clients to feel this way, that you turn your garbage into compost. And so something very beautiful has grown from the hardships of what was my first company. And now I have 3 companies. So right now we're focusing on the business consulting, and I have been a sponge soaking up additional information in the financial management and accounting pieces so that I can help small business owners write themselves bigger paychecks and take vacations without cash flow anxiety and endless calls from staff. How I do that is I use the 80-20 rule. So if you think of that 80% of what you do each day is generating 20% of your income. And what I'm showing you here is the 5-part framework that I work in, and that's a magnifying glass on the 20% that really matters to your business and your bottom line. So what I use for my clients is this framework, and it starts in foundations, ensuring that you're really separating yourself from everyone else that sells what you sell. How are you unique with your market dominating position? Really seeing what your strategy, your policies, and procedures are. Then we talk about the lead area. So it's a lead, and this doesn't have to be in order, but the other part of the 20% is leads, conversions, transactions, and profits. So this really, from now on, if you've ever asked yourself, I got to grow my business, or I need more revenue, refer to this 5-part framework. What do you have to do in order to get more people into your business? Start in the lead generation strategies. There are multiple ways that you can generate leads without spending a dime on marketing or advertising. And that's through networking, like what we're doing here, and various things. So let me show you a little bit more about what is the power of this 5-part framework. And I'm going to pull out this digital marketing piece in this kind of a format. So my strategy is I want more leads. The way that I want more leads is through a digital marketing strategy. Then you're going to see there are at least, this is not even all of them, but 25 different ways to do digital marketing. And then if you look over at the social media on this side, there are a number of tactics that go into social media. We sometimes, for the most part, people get excited about something new, like a TikTok or a new social media platform or a new way of reaching people. And we end up focusing in on these tactical solutions rather than remembering what we're doing is lead generation. And going back to that 80-20 rule, when you figure out what of the 20% is working in your digital marketing, you could, and only focus on that, that will pour gasoline on your business. And actually what I do with my clients is use that 80-20 rule. I times it by 4, so it becomes 51. And what that means is 1% of what you're doing each day is generating 50% of your revenue. Or if you have a product company, it's 1% of your customers are generating 50% of your revenue. And what would happen if we found that 1% that's really generating the revenue for you? That's all you need to focus on, right? So it's cutting back on the overwhelm, even though there's all of hundreds and thousands of ways to grow your business. What's really resonating with you, the way that you're presenting, and the people that you're trying to serve. Another way of looking at this, the pie chart, is through this growth calculator. And I'm going to go through this real quickly. And I show this kind of as a way so that you can see that small tweaks in your business make a big difference. So I'm going to put in numbers for a make-believe business. I'm bringing in this make-believe business. We are bringing in 1,000 leads. We're converting those leads 25% of the time. So we have 250 customers. From those 250 customers, we are seeing 10 transactions from each. The unit of sale that we have for this make-believe company is $100. So our total revenue coming into this business is $250,000. We have a profit margin of 25%. So the take home here is $62,500. Now see if we can increase this by 10%. If we increase that lead section by 10%, we now have 1,100 leads coming into the business. We're transitioning the conversion rate from 25% to 27.5. So now we have 302 customers coming into this business. Of those, we're going to have them buy one more thing. So we have 11 transactions. Our pricing goes from 100 to 110. And now our business is at $365,000. We shift the profit margin to 27.5 from 25%. And now we have a six-figure business. So when you think of the pie chart that I just showed you, and then you see it in this way, you can see more leads. There's pieces that go into the lead generation strategy, right? And then the conversion strategies, there's a bunch of them in there that we can shift that over. So there are strategies within that can make these small tweaks in your business that you're already doing. But then let's see what happens when we do a 50% increase. So we go from 1,000 leads to 1,500. More conversions from 25% to 37.5. So now we have 562 customers coming into the business. We work with them to increase their transactions. So now a customer is buying from them 15 times. Our prices go from 100 to 150. So now we have 1.2 million coming into this business. Profit margin goes from 25 to 37.5 as well. So now we have almost a $500,000 company. So that's what I do with my business owners that I work with. I work within this profit acceleration software that helps us find the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. So I'm looking for your highest revenue generating activities when I'm talking with people. My prospects go through this software and they get for complimentary. I give them 3 to 4 strategies that we talk about just to kind of put a pin in the map of where they are now and then where they want to be so that we can create a roadmap for them. Here is a link to our brand new profit simulator. If you want to go in and mess around with there's toggle buttons and things where you can kind of play around with your numbers. You can put in your own numbers and you can kind of play around with these different strategies and how they would impact your bottom line. And the last thing that I want to share with you is what you need to win in business. So you need some business and marketing knowledge. You really have a marketing business, which is sometimes hard to conceive as a creator. You'll need a framework for measurable success, and I just gave that to you because you have really that 5-part framework becomes your compelling scorecard. Measure everything against those 5 areas of your business, and you won't have to worry about anything else from there. You need a strategic marketing plan, and that is, I didn't share any marketing with you, but I do teach that in some of my free events that I do online and in person. You also will want a peer group so that you can bounce ideas off of each other and grow and learn from each other, just like this in 1 Million Cups. And then an advisor, coach, or mentor really is important when you think about it's really hard to see a message when you're inside the bottle. Not an Amanda-ism. I got that from someone else. I don't even know where I read it, but you can't see the message from inside the bottle. So when you're in it, it's really hard to see where you need to go. So I have a financial coach, I have a sales coach, I have, these different people that are helping me read my label on the outside, right? That is the presentation that I have for you today, and I'm ready to take questions whenever.
Great. Thank you very much, Amanda. Yay. Thank you for that. And you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen. We'll pop on there. I'm going to share one slide real quick, which is before we jump into questions, I just want to ask you, what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you, Amanda?
I would love to hear feedback on kind of what that was like for people, as far as just kind of a quick, what do you do, Amanda? And then what I'm looking for are 2 things. One is, are people who are really great or have a passion for small business and want to become a business coach or consultant. Maybe they're a recovering consultant like I am, like I'm a marketing consultant. I did PR before, marketing and PR before I did my bakery business. But they have a drive for business and want to help small business owners succeed. What I'm trying to do is help more small business owners than what I can do personally myself.
Well, thank you very much.
My team. Yeah.
And thank you for that presentation. If does anybody want to jump into questions or comments? Okay, we'll start with Matthew. Go ahead. And thanks for dropping that link in there, by the way, Matthew.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Jesse asked for it and Amanda was giving her a show, so I wanted to make sure that was in there. So Amanda, I dropped your link into the chat.
Oh, the simulator. Thank you. I just opened chat now so I can see. Okay.
Yeah, so Amanda, so first of all, as far as the presentation goes, I think one of the best I love visuals and things that kind of demonstrate. So even just showing how a simple increase in the number of sales and the shift in the margins can actually have a quite a substantive impact. That was really, really powerful in terms of presenting. And then also, getting like the visual with the digital marketing and then the different tactics. It's like so easy to think like that TikTok is the strategy. And we're just like, oh, TikTok, go there, done, make video, whatever. And then we forget like that there's a lot of other stuff that can happen before that, which brings me to, I think, my question for you. I just started 10K Creators this year. I'm doing a lot of market research to understand really what my customer needs and what's important for them. And mostly so that I can figure out, in part so that I can figure out really what the ideal business model is. I've come up with a lot of different ideas and have played with a few things. But my question is, for somebody who is in that foundation stage, what are like the 3 things you're like, okay, answer these three questions or think about these three things as you're navigating that foundation stage before you even worry about lead gen. Any comments on that?
I think first I would ask, where are people, regardless, like, so you can do as much market research as makes you feel comfortable, but I think you inherently already know a lot about what people need from you because you've likely created a business from the need. You've either have a passion for it, like I had a passion for baking, or you're like an accountant and you were a really good accountant. And you're like, why am I building somebody else's business? I should just start my own. So I would just be careful. My thing, or the advice for me, is just be careful in market research, because you can go down an information hole and never get out of it. And what I alluded to earlier was that what you do have as a service provider is a marketing company. If you want to have a company that's sellable in the future, if you see an exit that you need, if you want an exit and sell the company, and that it's bigger than just you, if that's the vision, I don't know that that's your vision, but you want to have pipelines, you'll want to have your lead generation strategies and your conversion strategies in lock, so that it just becomes something that happens. So for someone with a brand new business like you that's in the service industry, and you're trying to reach out to creators that likely want to make more money, is what I'm guessing, find those lead generation activities that actually attract the customers to you. So where are they hanging out right now? Who do they trust already? And so then you set up a partnership where if you find somebody that is serving your exact customer base, you create what is called a joint venture or an affiliate marketing. That's coming up a lot, like affiliate or referral fees and things like that. So there's passive income, that's really hot term, but really what it is who is serving your exact client base right now, and how do you fit in, and it's not a competition piece where these people are in competition with you, but how do you form that like lock? With creative people, it might be something like, in Oregon, we have Oregon Community Foundation that does a lot of cultural grants. So how do you form a relationship with the people that are serving people, performing artists or creatives in the grant space, but then how do you partner with them to give them the business knowledge behind creating what they've got? Did I answer the question?
You did, yeah. Thank you. No, that was, yeah. Thanks for the reminder not to go down the rabbit hole, because I love that rabbit hole.
We all love the information rabbit hole, because it's a really good procrastination tool as well.
Yeah, there's. I was curious also, Amanda. Fortunately, I've had a little bit of exposure to this, that you've talked to me a little bit about it previously. But one thing I was wondering is, as far as your approach and the tools that you're applying to these issues, is it like more or less applicable to different types of business? For example, like we have B2C companies out there, and within B2B, there might be distribution and manufacturing and services and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Is there like a sweet spot, or is this applicable to everybody, no matter what type of business or size business, or the methodology that you bring, is that more applicable to other types of businesses?
The software is built for any business. So the software, it starts with the 12-part framework, or the Jumpstart 12 that I showed in the presentation. And that's the 12 areas of business most business owners, like 90% of them, struggle. And that's why they have to close down, right? But beyond that, the work dives deeper. So in those 5 areas, there's actually 40 different segments of business that we can evaluate and work on cleaning up or tightening up. And and working through. So it's like the job is never done. I hate saying that to people who are, prospects, because they're like, oh, Amanda, when do I stop paying you? And I'm like, never, because there's going to be a bottleneck at every turn. For me, my sweet spot is the business that's been in business at least 3 years and is making $500,000 to $3 million in business, because they're going right. So, but I do know that there are people within the community that use the profit acceleration software that target just startups and use it to help people start up. And then there's people that use it in large corporations, billions of dollars, and use it in areas of business within those corporations. So it really does have a range, but my sweet spot is, of course, like where my experience lies, and that's in that $1 million-ish range of business. And kind of that hump of you start up and it's like, woohoo, here we go. And it's like the revenue is up. And then like year 3, year 4, it starts to kind of go, and then sometimes we even get a dip. So that's kind of where my specialty lies, if that helps at all.
Yeah, no, that was helpful. Thank you. Yeah, find it on there. Jesse. Question?
Well, thank you, Dan. And Amanda, fantastic. I am excited to learn more. So I have thousands of questions, but I'll keep it short. The software tool, it's for B2B that has, or B2C that has a product, or can it be used for, say, a marketing company or advisory company or other business that their product is their essence of their knowledge and resources?
It's both.
Okay.
It can be worked for, people use it for real estate agents and accountants, and then they use it for product-based companies. My sweet spot is product-based companies, but people use the software for all sorts of, I was just talking with somebody who does all coaches, and they use it, and they only do the coaching profession because all coaches need help in marketing, right? Finding the things that, or the audience that they need to or want to work with. So when you're marketing to everyone, you market to no one, is what I say.
Yeah. So either I heard you incorrect or you said check it out, but is the software free to use?
The software, the simulator is free, so that you can play around with that.
Okay.
And then I do a gift of a one hour profit breakthrough session, is what I call it, where we go through a few of the top level strategies that I think would be most beneficial for your business. And then it would be an engagement after that to use it. If you wanted to use the software in your own company, we can talk about what that looks like if you're interested.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Do you have a follow-up on that, Jesse, or you're good?
Oh, no, I was just,
Okay,
I wanted to follow
sure.
up. I mean, I love the software. I was a little confused at first. I thought more as an advisory, your slides and pitch transformed, and really it was personally the bread and butter came at the very end, and that's what I wanted more. But that's good. You can leave folks hanging and coming back for more. So that's a benefit. If there was a critique, my neck is now sore, and I'm going to be sending you a bill for my chiropractor because I was trying to read your pie chart.
Oh, you were.
So it's something to think about because some folks actually may want to care and want to read what your great information was. And it was a little hard to get it on. If you all notice, I was...
What is she saying? Yeah. What is all of that? Yeah. Usually my presentations are an hour to 90 minutes as well.
Absolutely.
So 6 minutes is.
Yeah.
But thank you.
And I was coached by Dan to not teach, and I was really trying not to teach and focus on myself, which I hate. I hate talking about myself. But so that's why at the beginning it was talking all about me. That was the feedback. That's Dan's fault.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dan.
Yeah. Well, and we do, and sometimes at 1 Million Cups, we do have education presentations where we go deep dive into the information. And so
but that's not what this was.
Yes, but there may be an opportunity in the future. And yeah, I think that's great. I loved hearing about that. Did anybody have any follow-up questions? I know sometimes questions come up after the answers. Looks like Jessica has a question. Go ahead, jump in there.
Yeah, I apologize. I came in late, and so you may have covered this. You were talking about how that sweet spot of a company that has about $1 million in revenue is sort of where you want to be. Is there any other criteria that you're looking that? This is the question I often ask people. If you had $10 million and you woke up in the morning, you did not need to make any money yourself, who would you want to work with?
Oh, I ask that question a lot too. And it's like, who gives you the goosebump moments? I chase those goosebump moments, and my target market is product-based companies. So, and in the hospitality industry, I really think that there's a lot of really good work that can be done around employee relationships and building a growth-based culture within the hospitality industry. That's really where I would shine. So I don't have a lot of one-on-ones open anymore. I'm pretty much tapped out, but like what you said, the 10 million, if I had $10 million, I don't need to worry about it. I would still work within that industry because there's just a lot that needs to be done there. And I think I have what it takes to help shift the industry.
Love it. Thanks.
Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, I like that one too. So, any other questions that anybody has for Amanda? I know that that information, and thanks Matthew for dropping all that information in there. There's a save the chat. I always recommend that, and then you can take a look at that information. We can go from there. So with that, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen for just a moment, just to wrap up things, and then we're going to go into some breakout rooms. And Tiara, are you setting up those? Oh, she's on there. I know she was having problems with her internet before, so maybe not. We'll see. We'll get them set up here. Okay, so just going to circle back on a few things now that we have the presentation wrapped up. So if you would like to present, just like Amanda did, you can apply at that link, which is in our link tree as well. So click on that, and if maybe you even have an existing business and you're just trying something new, we're here to help. This is a friendly audience, so just keep that in mind. Also, just a reminder, if you'd like to get involved or just even learn some more about 1 Million Cups, reach out to us on the email and we can check that out. There's our link tree. And next week is going to be in person. It'll be 10,000 creators and Partner Ally. Partner Ally is my brand new business as of last month, FYI. So I'll be one of the people jumping in there. And Matthew has a brand new business also, 10,000 creators will be presenting. And it'll actually be, so next week will be in person, but then that following week, like the 23rd, we're going to be going back to a virtual, and it'll be guest chat is the name of the business. It's going to be on the 23rd. So those of you that are just joining us virtually, we'll be back to that. And now we're going to jump into breakout rooms.
Yeah, hey, can you make me co-host so I can jump in and take care of the breakout rooms for a second?
Oh, yeah. I should have done that earlier. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So Matthew's going to get those set up, and we're going to jump into breakout rooms. And this is just, there's no, nothing that you have to do in particular, just an opportunity to connect with people and have a little bit of that conversation. You know, you don't necessarily have to talk about anything. We don't set up like a predetermined question or anything like that, at least on this one. Sometimes we do, but on this one, it's just to join somebody or join the breakout room and get to know other people in the 1MC community. If Matthew, once he gets those set up, you'll go into the breakout rooms. And if for some reason you have a problem, it should just pop you back into the main meeting area. And when that happens, we'll get you set and put you back into the room or whatever. We'll get it figured out. So with that, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for joining, and we'll jump into breakout rooms. Go ahead.